A very good morning to all my dear students. Good afternoon, Abhinandan. Good afternoon, Anushka. Aisha, good afternoon. Mihir, Palak, Parul, Satish, Shravika, Tamanna, Vaishnavi, Yukta. A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you all are doing really well. I hope you all have revised the topic that I asked you to do it yesterday in the last class. Can I get a yes or no for that? How many amongst you have done and how many have not done? Okay, Parul says yes, she's done the revision. Who else? Very good, Parul. Who else has done the revision? Nobody? Satish has done. Good. Okay. So in the last class, we studied primarily about how the market works, what the market is, how do we calculate the price using the demand and supply, how the calculation of demand and supply takes place. Okay. If let's say demand increases, how it works. If the supply increases, how it works. If demand and supply increases or decreases together, how they work. So these are the various factors on the basis of which we have decided that what the price should be. Okay. Now the question comes, we have also done, this is one topic that we have covered in the last class. In the last class, we also covered about the different market forms also in a very brief manner, that we have perfect competition and imperfect competition. In perfect competition, it's like a hypothetical scenario. In imperfect competition, there is monopoly, monopolistic, oligopoly, etc., etc. Okay. So if that is the scenario, this is how you compute the price output determination in the different market forms. Now, when we know about this, that how the market forms takes place, how the different market forms work, the question comes, what is a perfect competition market? So see, perfect competition is a market form wherein there are so many buyers, so many sellers, that one buyer or seller does not make a difference. There is no, what you could say, there is no value of that single buyer or a single seller that it might affect the demand and supply. Okay. So whenever we talk about the perfect competition, it is a market format wherein we have many buyers, many sellers selling the products, large number of buyers and sellers in the market, and they can easily sell whatever they feel, but at the same price. That's the major feature. What is that major feature? That they sell the product at the same price because there's no differentiation. Okay. So if we talk about the characteristics, the first characteristic that perfect competition market has is first one, that is there are large number of buyers, there are large number of sellers who compete between each of them. And they are so large that share of each seller in the supply is nothing. Share of each buyer in demand is nothing. That means even if I go and leave from the market, it does not affect the market. If the seller leaves the market, it does not affect it. But make me understand, let's say today if we talk about telecom industry, and in the telecom industry, if I say about, let's say maybe Jio, if Jio moves away from the market, don't you think the whole market will get disrupted? Come on, say yes or no. Will the whole market? Yes. Mihir says yes. Why? Because Geo is only one amongst the six or maybe seven items. There are only six, seven telecom providers, and one amongst them is Geo. Correct. So, whenever you're talking about the perfect competition market, the large number of buyers and sellers are there, and even a single buyer and seller does not make a difference neither in the demand nor in the supply. Second, most important feature is this, that they provide absolutely identical or absolutely homogeneous products, which are very important substitute. Okay. They sell at a single market price. Okay. You cannot change your price at all. Okay. You have to sell the product at the same price that you are selling for each and every product. Third, every firm is free to enter the market. You want to come to the market, come enter it. You want to go away from the market, go. So every firm is free to enter the market or to go out, no barrier on it. Whereas, let's say if I talk about railways, can I go tomorrow and open a railway company? No, I cannot. The government has a restriction to that. Even some kind of a restriction is there even for the oligopoly also. Have you heard about the concept of spectrums? So whenever a company gives the telecommunication company the license to work of 4G or 5G, etc., there's a proper bidding of the spectrum that takes place. So there's some kind of a reservation there also. But in perfect competition, there is no reservation. You want to start your business, go ahead. You want to leave the market, you exit the market. So these are the basic characteristics, you would say, or the features you would say of the perfect competition. Next is there is a perfect knowledge of the market condition. When I say perfect knowledge of the market condition, that means I know as a seller about the consumers and the consumer knows everything about the seller. But tell me one thing today, if I ask Abhinandan, Abhinandan, do you know all the crores or thousands of soaps industry in India? Yes, Abhinandan, do you know that? You know all the soaps, local soap, international soap, domestic soap, you know all the soaps, I doubt. It's very difficult. Yes or no? Correct, Abhinandan. So you really don't know what is there about all the market. But perfect competition market says that we know about all the sellers. We know about all the buyers. It's given to us, which is practically not possible. Okay. Next is perfectly competitive market has a very low transaction cost. Very low transaction cost. That means buyers and sellers do not have to spend much time and money finding each other, entering into the transaction. Now, again, let's relate it with the current example. Today, when I go to the market and I want to buy an air fryer, I research about the market. I think that, okay, which air fryer should I buy? Where should I buy from? Okay. But when I talk about perfect competition, because it's a hypothetical situation, they say you know everything about the product. So you don't have to bother finding it out. So the transaction cost comes out to be very low. Last but not the least, in the perfect competition, all the firms are price taker. When I say price taker, that means whatever the price has been determined, okay, it will be given by taken by the firm. That means in the industry determines what the price should be. And because you and me are behaving absolutely like alike, if there is a competitor of mine, Ram is a competitor, Sham is a competitor, all of us are going to behave absolutely identical. Okay, so whenever we talk about perfect competition because of its features is absolutely a myth. When I say absolutely a myth, why? Because it's something which is a hypothetical situation. Okay, am I clear up till here? Is there any doubt up till here, please? Please ask me right away. Yes? Anybody's got any doubt up till here? Okay, no doubt. Perfect. Now let's talk about price determination under the perfect competition. Let's talk about how the perfect competition takes place. So please see. First, before I start, what is the price determination under the perfect competition? Let's first understand firm and industry. When I say it's a furniture industry, and then I say in the furniture industry, there is a firm, there is a B firm, there is a C firm, there is a D firm. Okay, A, B, C, and D. These four firms together is called as industry. Is called as industry. So these firms, when mixed together, combined together, is what is known as industry. So whenever we talk about equilibrium of the industry, how the perfect competition analysis works, let's understand that. So this is the demand and supply. This is the equilibrium. This is the price. This is the quantity output. This is your supply. This is your demand. This is your equilibrium point. Quantity and price. Now the industry says that, okay, this is the product's demand and this is the product supply, and there where they intersect, that is what is the equilibrium point. And here the equilibrium price is OP and equilibrium quantity is OQ. Okay, done. But now the question says that Ram is behaving what Shyam is behaving, Shyam is behaving what Mohan is behaving. All the firms behave with each other. If all the firms behave absolutely like each other, why should I put stress on my brain? Do what industry is doing. So what firms do is this, they take this price as the price. This is the price. Can I say in the perfect competition, firm is a price taker and industry is a, come on, price. Come on, I want it in the chat box. Fast, please. Very good, Yukta. Price maker. Very good, Yukta. So it says that because I am going to adapt to whatever my industry says, because we are going to behave all same. Me, A, B, C, D, all my competitors are going to behave same. Why should I put stress on my brain? Let's take what the company organization decides. So in that case, price determination under the perfect competition, equilibrium will be wherein the demand will be equivalent to the supply and you get the equilibrium value. I hope, okay, so this is how the equilibrium of the firm takes place and this is the diagram that I made it for you already. So I'll repeat it for you once again. Look at this. This was the demand. This was the supply. They intersected at point E. This is the equilibrium price. This is the equilibrium quantity. Because I told you that the price is going to be same for every seller. This is taken. So the individual seller is the price taker and the market or the industry is the price maker. Okay. So I want you to draw the diagram of price taker and price maker right now in your notebooks. Perfect competition. And also I want you to enlist the characteristics, whatever you can recollect. I could recollect homogeneous product. Okay. Uniform pricing. Many number of large number of buyers, large number of sellers, neither affecting demand nor affecting supply. Okay, so write it fast. Come on. Put it fast, please. Is it clear up till here? Now, whenever we talk about the equilibrium price, the equilibrium, like I said, is determined by wherein the quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. But when I say that the firm has to be in equilibrium, for the firm has to be in equilibrium, there are primary two conditions. First is this, that the marginal revenue should always be equal to the marginal cost. What does that mean? That means that the extra revenue you generate should be equal to the extra cost that you incur to run the business. Okay? Now I'll tell you how it works. Just 1 second, please. So this is your marginal revenue. This is your marginal cost. Now understand, in this point, let's say this point A, what will happen? At this point A, your marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. And point B also, marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. That means you say, I am fine with either of the points, either at A or either at B. But look at this point A. At point A, MC is going downwards. And at point B, MC is going upward. Did you understand one thing? If at A, MC is going downward, what does that imply? That implies that there is a chance of the reduction in the cost to the further value. If there is a reduction in the chance of the further value of cost, why not wait for the output? So the firm will have an incentive, the firm will have a benefit to sell more products by expanding its production, by selling more quantity. Okay? Wherein, if I talk about the second level, that is the B point, there the MC is going to go higher. They say that, okay, now the MC will rise, my marginal cost is going to rise, so let's stop. So the most favorable situation that MR and MC could have is the point number B, not point A, because at point A there is a still chance that the cost will reduce. At point B, because the cost is now increasing, I would not like to go in that area. Is it clear up till here? Any doubt up till here? Okay, there's a doubt by the student. So please, it will be great if you can put it in the chat box right now. And at the end, I will let you ask the queries one-on-one by asking sir to unmute your mics. But as of now, you can put it in the chat box. आप chat box में अपनी doubts डाल सकते हैं सब लोग, ठीक है? और हम आगे जाके आपका एक डाउट सेशन जो रखते हैं एंड में 10 मिनट का, दैट वी विल कीप इट नाउ. Again, repetitive of the same thing, the short run function profit maximization by a competitive firm. So in the short run competitive firm, there is a demand, there is a supply, there's a new equilibrium point E. When you extend it, I will have MR equal to MC at point number T also and point number R also. At point number T, I will not stop. Why will I not stop, Satish? Why will I not stop? Yes? I will not stop because there is a chance that my call. Okay, Satish has replied. Okay, Yukta said because there is a chance of decrease in the cost. But I will not work beyond R. Why? I will not work beyond the R because therein I'm seeing um, that the cost might increase further. So I will not work according to that. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Let's talk about the short-run supply curve of a firm in the perfect competition market. Okay, perfect. Now, one thing that takes place in a perfect competition market is this, that the marginal cost curve that they have is absolutely what the supply curve is. Okay, whatever the marginal cost curve is. Like, for example, if you see this point, look at this diagram. What does that say? Like, for example, if the market price of the product is rupees 2, then we have a D1 as demand curve. Okay. D1 as the demand curve. Here, this one. If price is 2, D1 is the demand curve. Okay. Now, in this, at price 2, the firm supplies Q1 output because here MR is equal to MC. This is your MR. This is your MC. So this is your equilibrium point. Okay. Now, if the price becomes 3 rupees, price is rupees 3, the quantity supplied is Q2. If the quantity supplied is Q2, it will come like this, E2. And if you extend it, it will become marginal cost. So the firm's marginal cost curves is basically corresponding to each level of output. It is nothing but the firm's supply. So this is basically the firm will supply material at this rate of this value. Okay. Is it visible now? Palak, is it clear now? Okay. Now, I'll repeat it once again for you. Look at this diagram. If the price is rupees 2, the demand is D1. If the price is 3, the demand is D2. If you extended, you meet the equilibrium point E1, E2, E3, E4 at the demand curve. And when you join it, you get the supply curve. This is nothing but the supply curve. And the supply curve is nothing but the marginal cost curve gives the corresponding level of output, but the firm supply curve that is going to be provided at each price. Okay. So whenever a price is high enough to meet the AVC, a firm will decide to continue its production. They say that, okay, if my AVC is covered, I will not shut down. The same point I repeated yesterday, you remember? See, I will not bother about my rent to be recovered. I will bother about whether my charges or the fees for the notes are getting covered or not. Correct? So as far as I'm ready and I'm able to cover all my fixed cost, it is not something which I require. If I'm ready to convert my variable cost or to cover my variable cost, I will keep on moving. I will never shut down. Correct? I want you to revise it up till here and then we will proceed further. Okay, there's a doubt. Let me see. Okay, perfect. Any doubt up till here? Anybody? Anybody's got any doubt? Now here we will talk about supernormal profits, etc. Parul is here in the class. Okay. Parul, you asked me about supernormal profit in the class yesterday. Parul or Palak, who asked me? Okay. Now, Parul, can you explain me what is supernormal profit in a very short language? What is the supernormal profit? Okay, very good, Mihir. Profit over and above the normal profit. Okay, so extra profit. Very good, Yukta. So like I gave example to Parul yesterday that all the home bakers, all the chocolate cake bakers, they sell the product at 10% profit. But Parul is ready to sell it at 15% profit. The extra profit that Parul is earning by selling the cakes over and above what the normal rate is, that is what is known as supernormal profit. So the supernormal profit is basically wherein you earn more than what your normal profits are. So if the normal rate of return is only 10% and you are earning 15%, that extra 5% you are earning is what is known as the supernormal profits. Is it clear up till here? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So first thing that you would do right now is this: you will write the features of the perfect competition. You will write the MRMC approach, wherein the MRMC approach is going to get achieved. Okay. And then we will proceed further with the supernormal profit of a competitive firm. Come on. Fast, please. Come on. Do it fast. Come on. Write it fast. Okay. Now the question comes, what does a competitive firm? Very good, Yukta. The equilibrium is wherein the MR is equal to MC and MC should cut the MR from below. Okay. Anyways, now let's come to a next point, that is, can a competitive firm, can a perfect competitive firm earn profit? So please understand, in a short run, a firm always attain equilibrium position. And when do they do that? There is a probability that they might earn supernormal profit, they might earn normal profit, they might incur losses also. So if there are three possibilities, the first thing is this: when we talk about the supernormal profit. What are supernormal profit? Something wherein you are earning additional profits. In a very simple language, in a very clear and crisp word, supernormal profit is the additional profits that you are earning. The additional profits. So the additional profits is wherein you're earning 15,000, whereas everybody else is earning 10,000 with the same capital. So you are earning extra 5,000 return. If you're earning extra 5,000 return, that is your supernormal profit. Okay? Is it clear up till here? Now, please understand that if that is the scenario, how your diagram is going to be. Okay, perfect. So in this case, This is your AR is equal to MR is equal to price. This is your marginal cost. The point wherein MR is equal to MC is the equilibrium, and MC should cut MR from below. So point number E is going to be the equilibrium situation, and my quantity is going to be Q. That is clear. So my equilibrium price is OP, my equilibrium quantity is OQ. Now the question comes, what is your average total cost? You say that the total cost of production is lower than this. If it is lower than this, so this value which you are achieving is what is the supernormal profit, because that is the extra benefit you are earning which nobody else can do that. So if it is about a short term, in the short term, they still can earn supernormal profits. But again, what happens is this, please understand, in a long run, generally, because there's a free entry and exit of the firms, firm can enter whenever they want, firm can exit whenever they want. So the whole scenario works it in such a manner that the firms are earning only and only normal profit in the long run, wherein your MR becomes equal to MC, and it is the equilibrium situation. Here, therein you are earning normal. Please understand, I will make a point here to make you understand that in a normal circumstances, normal profit is already part of cost. Now somebody says, what are you talking about, ma'am? How normal profit is the part of cost? So I will talk about 4 factors of production. What are the 4 factors of production? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Correct? What is the return of land? Rent, labor, wages, capital interest, entrepreneur profit. You say, ma'am, this is the cost. Why? This poor person working all the time, don't you think his share also should come to the profit part, to the cost part, or his share, her share also should come to the cost part? So please understand, this normal profit is already a part of cost. So for example, you're earning this component, which is equal to your SP, that is the selling price, still you are earning the normal profit. You will not say, I'm not earning profit. You will not say you are into losses. No, you're earning normal profit. Why? Because it's part of profit. But let's say, for example, out of this, of 10, you're selling it at 12. Then 2 rupees extra that you are doing is super normal. Okay, so please understand, this is how it goes, wherein the normal profit says that the marginal cost is equal to MR, and this ATC, the average total cost, already includes the part of the profit. Is it clear up till here? But now there could be a possibility even with the losses. And what is that? Now the firm can be absolutely in an equilibrium situation and still can have losses. Why? Come on, tell me that. They can still make losses wherein your marginal cost is way above what your revenue is. So if you look at this diagram, when the firm is in equilibrium situation and still make losses. Here what happens is this, if the prices, yes, there's some doubt. Yeah, very good, Yukta. When the ATC is more than the average revenue, this is here. And the ATC is equal to greater than the revenue, that means your cost is greater than the revenue. And if the cost is greater than the revenue, that would yield to the situation of loss. So in that situation, what will happen is this, that you are, if you are recovering a part of a fixed cost, it will be still production taking place. Why? Because past of the fixed cost is still, I'm expecting that even if it doesn't recover, fair enough. But if a firm is unable to meet its variable cost, it's better you shut down your business. You will not survive. Okay. However, If in the future again you recover your um, variable cost, go ahead with the production. So in that case, this shutdown could be a temporary shutdown. Is it clear up till here? The losses are clear up till here? Please read it up till here. Give me the, ask me the doubts that you have. Okay. So as of now, what we have done? We have done perfect competition. In perfect competition, we talked about the features. We talked about the equilibrium. We talked about the price determination, about the market firms and the industry. Then we talked about, what else did we talk about? We talked about how the equilibrium situation is done, and equilibrium we have MR is equal to MC, and MC should cut from below. And then we talked about three situations of losses, profits, and supernormal profits. Is it clear to everybody up till here now? Any doubt up till here? Yes? Okay. I'm not putting time in the numerical right now. First, I would like to do the question, the topics, and then we will discuss about it. But the question comes, what about the long run equilibrium? What will happen in the long run equilibrium? See, in the long run equilibrium, please understand that whenever a firm is working, how it behaves. Let's have a quick look on the diagram. Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's take a 10 to 12 minutes break and then we will start with the long run. Okay. Ashok sir, we'll take a 10 minutes break right now and then then we will continue because it's a little technical topic. So please revise what we have done and within 10 minutes we'll meet again. students. So in the long run equilibrium, I was saying that in the short run, what happens is this, because one of the factor is fixed. Okay. Now what happens is this, that when the long run takes place, the scale of operation differs. There's a change in the industry, the new firms can enter, the new firms can move, etc. Now, in that scenario, it is a possibility that the firm has losses or firm has profits, a supernormal profits. But what happens is this, that when there is a supernormal profit, people come get attracted that, okay, this industry is earning a lot of profits, let's join. Let's start business here. And when a lot of supply is there and the demand is comparatively less, the prices go down. When the prices go down, what happens is this, that again, from the point wherein you were having supernormal profit, you come to the normal. Let's talk about the vice versa situation. What happens in the vice versa situation? There is a losses. There is a chance that you are incurring a lot of losses. If you are incurring a lot of losses, there could be a possibility that again, in long run, you would say that, okay, a lot of firms go out of the business. They say that, okay, you are incurring losses. Why should I stay in the business? They start moving. When the firms go away from the market, what will happen? The supply will go down. The demand will go high. The demand is higher as compared to supply. What will happen? Automatically, the firm will earn normal profits. So it is a situation whereas the long run equilibrium of a competitive market takes place, wherein in the long run situation, you are always on a normal profit scenario. Okay. So if you look at this diagram, in the long run equilibrium, the firm faces a horizontal demand curve. If the price is OP, the firm is making the supernormal profit, but eventually they attract by the excess profit, the supply shifts rightward and automatically the prices go down. So in the long run, it will be a normal profit. In the short run, it could be a supernormal profit or a losses also. Now, when we talk about the long run equilibrium of the industry, the long run equilibrium of the industry again strikes in, wherein see the demand is equivalent to the supply, and in the long run, the average revenue is equal to the margin revenue is equal to the long run average cost is equal to the long run marginal cost. If that is the situation where the firm has attained all the absolute equilibrium situation, they will not change their methodology anymore. It will lead to the optimal allocation of resources, and this is how the equilibrium takes place. Okay. So here what will happen is this, that the output is produced at the minimum cost. The consumers pay the minimum possible price, which is covering their cost. Plants are using their full capacity. They say that, okay, full capacity in the long run is done. Firms are earning only the normal profit. They maximize their profit and they achieve the equilibrium only and only when LAR is equal to LMR is equal to price is equal to LMC is equal to LAC. That will be the situation of the optimum allocation of resources. Okay. But down the line, the most important point that I would like to highlight is this: is perfect competition for real? Is it a real concept? Come on. Yes or no? No. It is not a real concept. It is a myth. It is something which is absolutely hypothetical. Your people do not have any kind of feature which is existing in the real world. You say you can enter the market the way you want, you can exit the market you want. Not possible. So not a real feature. Many buyers, many sellers. Not possible. I have the perfect mobility. I have the perfect knowledge. Impractical scenario. So that is one thing. Second comes the monopoly. What is monopoly? The monopoly means monopoly. When I say mono, that means one, single person. So let's discuss the features of monopoly. First is there is only and only one seller of the product. Second, I cannot just enter the market with my whims and fancies. It's not according to my wishes. There is no close substitute of the product. Okay. There is a supermarket power. When I say there is a supermarket power, that means because I'm the only one in the market, I can say, never mind. The cost is 10, I will charge more than 10. That means in the monopoly market situation, there can be abnormal profits. There can be supernormal profit. Why? Because first point is this, you are the only one in the market. You can charge whatever you feel like. One point. Second, you also have a behavior of price discrimination. What is price discrimination? Anybody? Anybody who can say? Price discrimination says for the same service, I'm charging 100 rupees from Abhinandan, but I'm charging 120 from Satish. For the same service, same feature, same product, I'm charging two different rates from two different consumers. Okay. So due to that, So due to that factors, I would say that the characteristics of monopoly is of four basic categories. First was one seller, many buyer. There's a barrier to the entry. I cannot just enter the market the way I want. There is no close substitute, nobody else as a competitor available in the market. And fourth, I have a great market power, what says that I have a great negotiation power. I can do whatever I feel like in the market. But again, I will change this statement maybe down the line after 5 minutes. Now, when I talk about monopoly, question arises, how do monopolies arise? How is that the monopoly takes place in a country? Could anybody say that? The first feature is this, that I have a strategic control over a scarce resource. It is just me who has got that resource. Nobody else owns that resource. Second, it is very difficult because what I have done is this, I have created a patent of that particular product. I have created a copyright for that particular product. Nobody else can copy it. Government does not give permission to produce that goods and services. I've got patents, copyrights. I will not allow people to copy that work. Business combination, cartel. Business combination or cartel, what happens is this. Let's say, for example, there are certain organizations which are very small. And when these organizations are very small, they do not have, let's say, their own position. They say that, okay, I do not have a control in the market. So what they do is this, they all come together. They make a collusion. They make a group together. And that group together is called as cartel or a business combination. So business combination or cartel, they come together wherein they cooperate on the pricing, they cooperate on the market share, and this is how they make the business combination. Next is they also have a very large startup cost. Railways. Can you and I imagine to start a railway company? Not at all. It is not at all possible. Correct? It is also the technical know-how. There's sophisticated machinery. There's sophisticated expertise. Is something which we cannot copy. And forget about expertise, etc. The first thing that comes in the mind is this, that they are very huge in terms of investment outlay. So nobody can just afford it easily. Okay. Now, what about the natural monopoly? Natural monopoly arises when there are large economies of scale. In that case, what happens is this, for example, telephone service, natural gas supply, electrical power distribution. What happens is this, it is that particular resource which I have the only one. I have the power of that particular resource. Nobody else can encroach it. Next is, I have a very strong goodwill that nobody else would like to even enter the market because they're scared. I would say the best example is the goodwill. The firms enjoy, for example, the best example is railways. Railways has catered to the major network of population transporting from one place to another in the whole of India. You can move from one place to another easily. And it has created such a great goodwill that can you think that any other company would come and, start doing what the railways is doing? Okay. And last is the stringent legal and regulatory requirement. The government says that I will not let anybody else enter this market. Government says I will not let anybody else enter this market. I will use anti-competitive practices, etc. Wherein I will say that, okay, whatever the case is, I will not allow the new firm to enter the market without my permission. Okay. So in that scenario, what happens is this: the firm uses various other anti-competitive practices. Firm says that, okay, I will do predatory pricing, I will do limiting pricing, I will do what the other competitors are doing. I will just want to get rid of them. So monopoly is something wherein the price can be easily controlled by the seller. Why? Because the competition does not really exist. Also, it is a market form wherein a single person is working and he or she takes consideration about everything. Okay. Aisha is asking about the eighth point, that is enormous goodwill enjoyed by a firm for a considerable long period creates difficult barrier to entry. I'll give you an example of, for example, railways. If I talk about railways, or let's say, yeah, let's talk about railways. In India, if you go to any village, any district, any town, here or there, you would see the Indian railway net. Okay. Now that rail network, which has been laid down by Indian government, can there be a substitute of it? No. The Indian Railways has created such a kind of a global presence within the country, or maybe you would say a very positive impact, that even the lowest income group can travel in the trains at a very cheap price, and maybe the physically any kind of a person who's differently able can easily get into it. So all these factors, look at that, those factors. Is there any the kind of goodwill that they have created? Do you think anybody else can enter the railways market? No, except for the Indian government. No. So the enormous goodwill or a positive value that you have created in the market, that nobody will itself come. They will say that no, no, no. Aisha is working in the organization, Aisha is working in that particular field, I will not enter because she has created a very good name. Okay. Okay, Aisha, is it clear? Yukta, normally when I say competitive practice means something which relates to the competition. What is anti-competitive practice? Anti-competition practices, you do something where you say that there will be no competition existing. No competition existing, that means that you do one strategy that a competitor cannot survive in the market. Okay. So, for example, if I talk about the pricing of the product to be very low, okay, wherein I say that, okay, I say that I will do a great large scale of production. I will try to put the cost as low as possible so that all my competition vanishes away from the market. Okay, all my competition are away from the market. That is what is known as the anti-competitive practice. Anti-competitive practice means you behave in such a way. Yes, you do not let other firms to set up. Very good. You do not allow the new firms to set up. Why? Because you have a tactics, you have a technique that the extra competition which might arise will say that no, 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 I cannot beat that price. Let's be out of it only. Transportation from uh, Jaipur to Delhi is only in 200 rupees. Who would say I would come in place of railways? No, I cannot provide 200 rupees transportation from Delhi to Jaipur. So that is what is the tactic of anti-competition practice. Okay. Any doubt up till here? Any doubt up till here, people? So in that scenario, what are the monopoly? Monopolies are somebody who are a single seller, many buyers. You have a great hold over the whole market. There is no competition, and you have the whole power in the market to differentiate price, to charge whatever you feel like. But again, tell me one thing. If railways comes tomorrow and says that, okay, I want to charge maybe 1,000 rupees for a normal general sleeper class from Jaipur to Delhi, would you travel? Would you go? You will say no. I will take a bus. Maybe it might take longer. It is little inconvenient, but I will go in air conditioner bus rather than going in a summer heat stroke. Correct. So please understand, because you are a monopoly, there is nobody else other in the market other than you. Still, you cannot go crazy with the prices. You will not say that, okay, I will set the price that I want. First point is this, that at least in our country, we have government also. And second thing is this, if you quote a very high prices, whom do you think that people will come? If you give me 5,000 rupees charge from Delhi to Jaipur by the sleeper class of a train, I would say, why would I not take a flight? I will be rather more convenient and cheaper also. The flight from Delhi to Jaipur comes around 2,000, 3,000 only. Why would I go to the sleeper class? So you cannot just charge whatever you feel like charging. So this is why, can I charge always higher? No, not at all. At the end, if you want to raise your revenue, no, you have to reduce your price. So this is why, what is your price curve called as? AR. Look at this, the AR is downward sloping. The demand curve is also downward sloping, because if you eventually want to increase your demand, no, you better reduce your price. You reduce your price if you want to increase the demand. So when you talk about monopoly, monopoly is wherein you set a single price and supplies all the buyers who wish to purchase at that price. So if you see the diagram here for the monopolist revenue curve, look at this. The AR is also sloping and the MR is also sloping, because of this fact that if you want that the consumer should buy more, you better reduce the price. Okay. It is because if you reduce the price only, then only you will be able to sell more quantity. Okay. So this is your AR, TR, MR of the monopoly firm. Okay. Now please understand, there are primarily two kinds of monopoly. Simple monopoly and discriminated monopoly. In the simple monopoly, wherein the monopolist charge uniform price from all the buyers. That says, for example, Indian Railways. Indian Railways says, if it's a AC train, 3-tier train, I will charge 1,500 from Delhi to Jaipur. But when it becomes a discriminating monopoly, they charge different buyers for the same good differently. The best example is dynamic fare of Rajdhani. As you start booking your train from maybe Delhi to Mumbai, you go to the website of Indian Railways, and if you want to book the ticket of Rajdhani, which is one of the most superfast train of the country, it becomes dynamic pricing. Dynamic prices on the basis of the date. Let's say if you're booking a train for tomorrow, it's in a high demand. If it's in a high demand, they will charge anything that they want. Okay. So whenever we talk about such pricing, there are two kinds of monopoly that we have discussed about. One is the simple monopoly. Second is the discriminating monopoly. Okay. Next is profit maximization in a monopolized market. That is the equilibrium of the monopoly market. Now, when we talk about the equilibrium at the monopoly market, again, there is a short run situation. In the short run situation, if you look at this diagram, both AR and MR are downward sloping. Can anybody give me an example or the reason why AR is downward sloping? Why is the price downward sloping, Aisha? Why is the price, AR is equal to price only, no? So why is the price downward sloping? No, Yukta, I don't expect this answer because of inverse relationship between price and demand, no. Anybody else? Yukta, you are somewhere close to it, but I just gave the answer. Why is AR curve downward sloping even in monopoly? Anybody else? Yes, Mihir? Very good, Yukta. Here you go. That if you want to sell more of product, you better reduce your price. If you want to increase your revenue, you better reduce the price. Don't you think that the consumer will come because you are the only seller? No, not at all. The consumer will not behave in that manner. So the condition of equilibrium says that due to the increased demand, you have to eventually reduce the price to increase your demand of the product. Okay, so please understand when we talk about the condition of equilibrium, when AR is downward sloping, MR is downward sloping, it is going to behave in this manner. Okay. Now look at this diagram. It shows that the MC curve cuts MR at point E. I will explain it to you how the firm works in the about the yeah. When MR is cutting MC at the equilibrium point E here the equilibrium quantity comes out to be OQ, and the if you extend it to the average revenue, that is the price curve, you find out the price which is OP. Okay. So in this case, if you want to know whether you are earning profit or losses in the short run, we have to calculate what? We have to bring in the average total cost and the marginal cost concept. Now, when MR is equal to MC, which is at point number E, we have to understand that OQ is the quantity and the price charged is OP. If this is the cost, that is OQPC, and this is the price OPAQ. So this green color column is your profit. And this green color column is the profit which says that, okay, A, B, C, and P. This is your economic profit per unit. It basically tells you how do you calculate the profit of the organization or the profit of that particular firm. But is it possible that the monopolist can also incur losses? Anybody? Is it, you say that, okay, ma'am, it is earning profits, but is it also possible that it can incur losses? Yes, very much. It is not necessary that monopoly will always make a profit all the time. Assumably, if there is a demand, if there's a very low demand for the product, then in that case, what will happen? Your average total cost will be greater than the average revenue. So you will not be making any profits. If your average cost comes out to be higher than the revenue, then what will happen? You will obviously incur losses only, no? So, can a monopolist incur losses? Yes, very much. It is wherein the cost is going to be higher than the revenue. Okay, so if the ATC is greater than the AR, he will not be making profits, rather, he will incur all the losses. Okay. But what about the long run? Long run is the situation wherein the monopolist says that I have a lot of time. You want me to increase my machine size? I will increase it. You want to add on more machines? I can do that. So in the long run, obviously, he will continue making supernormal profit even in the long run as the outside firms is blocked. I am the king. Nobody else is in the market. I can put anything that I want. In the long run, there is a probability that the firm can earn maximum losses or maximum profits, and that too supernormal. Is it clear? Is the whole concept clear about what is monopoly? Basically, the characteristics of monopoly, how the prices are determined, what is the basic fundamental of monopoly? Now let's understand what is price discrimination. What does the name price discrimination says? Anybody? Anybody? Aisha, yeah, your answer is correct that if you want to increase the demand, you have to reduce the prices. Correct. Okay. Okay. Next is price discrimination. Anybody who can give me the reply, what is price discrimination? Yukta says charging different prices for the same service. So when you are charging different kind of prices from the different consumers, that is what is known as the price discrimination. So in price discrimination, what happens is this: if there's a rich patient coming, I will charge higher prices. If there's a poor patient coming, I will charge lower prices. Correct? If that is the situation, that is what is known as price discrimination. So what happens when a family doctor is there? Family doctor says that, okay, the poor guy is coming, okay, I will charge less. But the moment that doctor says that, okay, never mind, it is a customer is going to be rich, he does not really mind paying more. Why not charge higher price? That is what is known as the price discrimination. Clear up till here? Yes or no? Can you give me some more examples of price discrimination in the chat box, please? Yes. Give me some more examples. Okay. Very good. Okay, the tuition fees, very good, Aisha. Railways, different quotas, very good. What else? Anybody else? Why repetitive students only reply? What about others? Yes? No, Aisha, extra classes would not come. Extra classes, extra charge. No, that I'm not charging. I'm charging for extra work there. No. Anybody else? I think somebody else has also messaged. Yes, Satish. Hospital charges, like I said for doctor, very good. Because there could be a charges difference from person to person. Okay. So next is I've already given a lot of examples of price discrimination. So railways have a high value or a small relative value, small value charges. Okay. Another example could be some universities charges different prices for different student. Okay. And another best example is the phone call charges. This really does not take place nowadays. But initially, when you must have seen those landline phones that we used to have in India, that in the peak hours, the charges were different as compared to the off hours. Okay. So that was a price discrimination. Okay. Now, what are the conditions of the price discrimination? When do you think can I charge? Understand it this way. When can I charge 100 rupees from Abhinandan and 150 from Satish? First thing, I should have that control over the product. I should be so powerful that I am in a capacity to discriminate price. First point. Second, I will divide my customer into different categories. Maybe rural area students, urban area students. Okay. This is how I can discriminate. Third, the price elasticity of the product should be different in the different submarkets. The monopolist fixes a high price for the product for those buyers whose price elasticity is less than one. So when the monopolist charges a higher price from them, they have to reduce their purchases in response to the higher price. So you have to understand the elasticity is very extremely different in the different markets. Wherein I see that okay, the monopolist charges a higher price, I would be like, okay, let's reduce the purchase in response to the higher price. And last is this, please understand, it should not be possible that I give it to the low income group at a cheap price and they sell to the higher income group. If that will take place, I will never do price discrimination. Am I a fool that I give it to the low income group and then low income group gives it to the high income group and they earn profit and I'm stupid not to earn profit? So that should not take place. So whenever the price discrimination takes place, now for example, my service, when the doctor does that, a doctor charges lesser from the poor family and charges more from a richer family. Can that poor family sell that service of medical treatment to the higher income group? No, they cannot. This is how the doctor can also practice the price discrimination. So you have to understand what is the price discrimination. But again, like I said, do not think that the monopoly earns maximum profit because of price discrimination. No. One thing that you need to remember is this, that the monopoly can be a failure also, because the customer would say, how will I tolerate that you are charging more from the other consumer and lesser from me, or maybe vice versa? Okay. Is it clear up till here? Please ask me if there's any doubt. Now, what is the objective of price discrimination? First, my target is to earn maximum profit. I want my maximum sold stock should be sold. I should benefit from the economies of scale. Major market should be in my hand. Okay. So price discrimination can be for the consumer surplus also. Okay. Now, when you talk about the price discrimination, please understand how do you achieve equilibrium in the price discrimination, that wherein we have different kind of markets. There is a sub-market A, there is a sub-market B, there is a total market. The price discrimination says how you're going to determine how the prices are going to be set for that particular product. Okay. So you will secure higher profit. You have to sustain some kind of a monopoly power. In that monopoly power, when you are existing, there could be a little consumer surplus which will be lost. Why consumer surplus? Consumer surplus will be lost because people will say that you are charging more from us. Wherein there is a chance that there will be some favorable outcomes also. There will be some category of people who will be very happy. Oh, you're charging less from us. Okay. So some consumers, that is the poor consumers, will benefit, and the richer consumers will be in an adverse situation. So there will be an amalgamation of both, and the subgroup A and subgroup B together, it will be combined and seen how the equilibrium is achieved. Look at this. Maybe this is the poor segment, this is the rich segment, and this is how the total market aggregate demand curve works. Look at this. This is a kind of a king demand curve. Okay. Next is economic effects of monopoly. What is the economic effects of monopoly? First, monopoly is criticized. Why? Because you are kind of differentiating between the products. And when you are kind of differentiating between the consumers, there is a criticism that you are not being equal. You're charging higher price from one, lower price from another. Okay. There is something like economic profits also. There is something like you are charging marginal cost also. Okay. There is something like you are creating unjust barriers also. Okay. They do not have necessary incentive to introduce innovations. You are using their power to lower the prices to the suppliers, etc. So it is basically wherein you are kind of creating some kind of biasness in the market. And when you are charging some kind of biasness in the market, that is something which is going to create a problem. This is why monopoly nowadays is not very promoted. Monopoly is something which is not very promoted, and you would see that there are a lot of activities done by every government or the every social structure of the country wherein they're trying to reduce the monopoly power. Okay. So if you talk about the inefficiencies, etc., the economy will reduce those inefficiencies. Next is monopolistic. Let's talk about what is monopolistic. Monopolistic is that market form wherein there are many buyers and many sellers. And I gave you the best example of monopolistic. You remember the soap industry? Large number of sellers. Super product differentiation, not price differentiation, product differentiation. I can differentiate between Dove soap and Pear soap. Pear soap and Lux soap. Why? Because there's a different in features, quality, design, shape, taste, color, packaging, promotional techniques, etc. Freedom of entry and exit. I can go tomorrow, I can run a business of soap. If I feel like running it, run it, otherwise close it. I can exit it also. I can leave it also. Non-price competition. Any times there could be a chance that the product and service you are trying to kind of doing aggressive advertisement. How do I win the market? I do a lot of advertising. I do a lot of distribution arrangements. I do a lot of promotional activities. I do certain non-price competition wherein I try to promote my product that the consumer comes and buys my product. Okay. So many a times what I need to understand is this, that if I talk about such kind of market, which is a monopolistic market, it's not just the price on which basis I lure my consumer. There are various other features also on the basis of which I discriminate. Okay. Next is price output determination under monopolistic competition. Okay, any doubt up till here? Anybody, any doubt up till here? Come on, anybody? Anybody's got any doubt up till here? Okay, very good. Now, next is price output determination under monopolistic competition. First thing that we need to understand is this, that when we have the marginal cost and the average cost, the first scenario is that the MC should be equivalent to MR that we have already studied, and MC should cut MR from below. So be it a perfect competition market, be it a monopolistic market, the simple situation works here only wherein your MC is equal to MR and the MC should cut MR from below. Okay? If MC cuts MR from below, this is wherein the equilibrium is stuck. The equilibrium is right. Okay? Now, when the equilibrium is right, that component wherein you are charging more, see, the revenue is more than the cost, wherein you are getting the supernormal profit. The moment you have more of cost as compared to the revenue, you also incur losses. Look at this. Here, the cost is over and above the revenue. So, if the cost is over and above the revenue, and you look at this gap GTHK, this is what the losses you are incurring. So, whenever you talk about the businesses, there are again short run and long run, wherein you can either incur losses or else you can have a supernormal profit. But again, in the long run, what will happen? A firm will enter the market, they produce, they see that yes, they're earning profit, people more will join. But then what happens is this, that eventually the prices go down because the demand is less and the supply is high. Again, it will go hike and eventually it will persistently go only and only when in the long run you are able to provide the normal profits. Okay. So whenever you talk about the long-term equilibrium in the monopolistic, in the long-run scenario, you will always earn the normal. Okay, so let's have a very quick revision of this. Very, very, very important. And I will read it line by line for you all. In a perfect competition, many large number of buyers, many large number of sellers. Okay. Monopoly, single seller. Monopolistic, many buyers and many sellers. Okay. Now you say that, ma'am, what is the difference between perfect and monopolistic? This is innumerable. A superlative degree of many. This is many. Product is absolutely homogeneous, absolutely same. There is no substitute. Here there is a differentiated product. I'll write the example also. Example hypothetical situation. Monopoly, this is railways. And this is your soap industry. Here, insignificant market share. Even if I go tomorrow, nobody will bother. My whole market is in my hand. If I go, the whole market will shut down. I have a small stake here. Severe competition, no competition, imperfect competition. No monopoly, high monopoly, some monopoly. Free entry exit, strong barrier, free entry exit. With little barrier. Very little, very, very, very little, very, very. price taker, price maker, some control over the price. Price equal to cost, price higher than cost, price higher than cost. This is a hypothetical situation. It can talk about anything. Lesser than market form, higher equilibrium price, higher. Demand is elastic, demand is inelastic, demand is elastic. Now the question comes, ma'am, when this is a fake market scenario, why are you even teaching us? We are teaching you this because it's a base of all the theories. Many a times to make you understand a concept, don't we talk about a hypothetical situation? So to create that base of the story that how the whole market could run, we have this whole concept of perfect competition exists in the market. Further, the MR and AR by the same curve, MR at the same point, but as AR and is twice steep as compared to AR. Same point and twice steep here. TR is a straight line positively sloping. TR is inverted U-shaped, inverted U-shaped. No price discrimination. Yes, price discrimination depends. No supernormal profit in long run. Supernormal profit can exist in, but no super profit. No selling cost. Why? Because it's absolutely same. There is no differentiation. Low selling cost just to inform people that okay, railways is coming with a new train. Severe competition. Advertisement of soaps is always there on the television and social media, isn't it? Price is being given. It basically tells you what quantity. It tells you what price, what quantity. It tells you what price, what quantity. Here, the product is produced at a minimum average cost, declining portion of the average cost, declining portion of the average. Here, the equilibrium quantity is highest and produced at the least cost. Equilibrium quantity less than the other farm market, and here less than the optimum. The consumer does not get exploited in the perfect competition. Consumer is the king. But consumer can be exploited in the monopoly to the highest level. Why? Because they are being exploited by the monopoly, and monopoly say, I will charge the higher price. Whereas in the market competition like monopolistic, people are influenced through the price. They say that, okay, if the soap is becoming very expensive, I'll try to find out the substitute. I am not finicky to buy only Dove soap or maybe Bath and Body Works. I'll be like, okay, I'll buy Medimix also as far as it is cheap and it is fine for me. The resources get efficiently allocated, inefficiently allocated, inefficiently allocated. There is no wastage of resource here. There is a wastage of resource here, and there's extreme amount of wastage of resources. Why? Because I have to advertise, I have to sell my product, I have to tell the consumer that okay, you buy it. Okay, so please read it up till here once. Yes. Any doubt up till here? Any doubt up till here, people? Okay. We will cover the last topic, the oligopoly, very important. And I think in the last class also there were students who asked me doubt regarding oligopoly. First, I'll give you an example of oligopoly, which should be in your mind while I teach you the oligopoly market. Oligopoly market situation is the best example is the telecom industry. Very few sellers, many buyers. One seller holds the major stake of the market. For example, if today Geo moves out of the market, the whole market will disappear. It will have a major problem because it's a seller who is holding a major chunk of the market. Okay, first thing. Second, they kind of sell the homogeneous or differentiated products. Almost all the mobile phone packages you see, it's almost 699 for 5 GB plus unlimited calling, etc., etc., etc. Almost homogeneous, but at times they can be little different also. They might have their different international roaming networks and the cards and the prices, etc. So this is how they have differentiated oligopoly or maybe the kind of similar oligopoly. Okay. Second, when we talk about the oligopoly market, one major thing that you need to understand is the types of oligopoly. When you talk about the types of oligopoly, first is the pure oligopoly or the perfect oligopoly. It is when the product is homogeneous. Best example is aluminium. The aluminium industry, you cannot differentiate between the aluminium of six different industries, no. So that is pure or the perfect oligopoly. Okay, wherein we have a differentiated oligopoly, for example, where is the product differentiation takes place. For example, talcum powder. Okay. Yardley has a different fragrance, Nivea has a different fragrance, and Synthol has a different fragrance. Next is open and closed oligopoly. In the open oligopoly, new firms can enter the market, compete. In the closed, entry is restricted. Collusive, what will happen? It comes to a common understanding and act in collusion with each other, either in fixing price or both. Wherein we talk about the competitive oligopoly, they are basically competing with each other. Partial or full oligopoly, oligopoly is partial when the industry is dominated by one large firm. And it is a dominating firm when the price leadership takes place. Wherein, if I talk about the full oligopoly, the market will be conspicuous by the absence of the price leadership. They say that, okay, if there is no price leadership, then the market is going to be crazy. That is the full oligopoly. The one doubt which was asked in the last class also, syndicated. Syndicated means something which is syndicated. Syndicated means something which is grouped. Okay, so syndicated and the organized oligopoly. Syndicated oligopoly is wherein they sell the product through a single centralized syndicate, through an organization. What is organized oligopoly? Wherein you are referring to the situation, they create a association, they fix the prices like we have OPEC, oil petroleum exporting countries, correct? They are basically creating their own quotas, they are creating their own prices, etc. Is it clear up till here? Now the characteristics. What are the characteristics? There's a strategic interdependence. They are taking care of each other in terms of decision making. They are the ones who are paying a lot of attention for advertisements and selling costs because they are almost cut to cut, no? Correct? There's a group behavior. So if Jio launches one type of package, Airtel will soon follow it. Airtel launches it, Jio will follow it. So they work together. They are copying each other. Okay? Price and output decision. So in the price and output decision, please understand there can be two kinds of methodology. The first approach primarily is wherein they ignore the interdependence. You do what you feel like, I'll do what I feel. Second is wherein you say that, okay, I am a follower. I will do what my leader does. So let's say if Airtel is the leader in the telecommunication, directly the others will absolutely just blindly follow them. Third is better that I and you become a union. We jointly act as a monopoly. We jointly decide what the price is. Okay, that is what is we become a part of a cartel, like opaque is. We make a collusion and we behave in that manner. Because at times, you know what happened with this? That in monopolistic market form, you are still advertising and creating. Here, if I want to, I am Airtel and I want to cut Jio, what will I do? I am launching a package at 699. Jio will say, okay, I will charge 679. Consumers will go to him. Then Airtel says, oh, he's charging 679, I'll make it 659. And they will fight. They will have a price war. And both of them are going to fight and do not realize this fact that we are wasting our resources and consumer is benefiting. So in that case, this results in the price war. And then that price war is resolved. So oligopoly demand curve, if you see, it's a king demand curve wherein it is first very sloping and then steeper. Why? Because it tells you how to react and how to behave properly. Okay. So I've already discussed about price leadership. Price leadership is wherein you are basically saying that, okay, this is the highest price I can charge and I will do what my leader is doing. I will basically follow what is happening in the market. You live, let me also live. Let's not cut each other's profit. Let not encroach in each other's space. Yeah. Okay. Then is the king demand curve. King demand curve, like I said, I just told you that because there is a time wherein people are facing declining cost. So Sweezy model says that the demand curve facing an oligopolist is basically is the king demand curve. There is a segment of demand which is above the price elasticity. There is a segment which says the price level elasticity is inelastic. So this whole demand curve becomes a king demand or a broken demand curve. Why is it happening? Because they keep on fighting for the price war. Then they realize that we are wasting our resources. It is of no sense to us. So you better behave and stick to that particular rigid price and beyond which we will not reduce. Otherwise, it's we are who are getting the losses, not the consumer. The consumer is benefiting on our profits. Now, what is the other kinds of market firm? First is duopoly, as the name suggests, two firms in the market. There are two sellers. In the monopoly, it was one seller. In duopoly, it was two firms. Monopsony, single buyer. Again, but I will not be able to give mainly the example of that. Okay. Oligopsony, small number of large buyers. Okay, this is basically the factor markets, the input market. This is basically B2B market. Bilateral monopoly, whereas there is single buyer, single seller. So it's basically monopoly and monopsony. Okay. Any doubt up till here, please? Any doubt in this chapter? Any problem that you are facing? Yes, students? Anybody who needs to ask any doubt? Ashok sir, we can please unmute the students if there's anybody who wants to ask doubt. Anything when you are facing problem while studying, any problem that you're facing, kindly let us know, please. Yes, Abhinandan, Anushka, Aisha, Jardosh, Jyoti, Preeti, Satish, Shravika, Simar, Yukta. Any doubt that you people are facing, any problem that you people are facing? Electricity provider, yes, Jardosh could be a slightest example of oligopoly because there are very few of them who are doing that thing. Okay. Bilateral monopoly, Aisha. Single buyer and single seller. It could be, for example, some kind of a resource which is primarily used by the government of India, for example, and given by primarily the one particular association. Right now, I'm not able to recollect any example. Maybe down the line, if I do, I'll share it with you. I'll tell you why are you facing problem while solving the MCQs, Yukta. The first thing that I would say is this, that you should read your material, the module, very importantly. And especially for the subjects like economics, wherein you have the multiple choice questions, I would say do not go to any other reference book or any other study material except for ICAI module. The question will be, something carved out from this book only. First thing that you need to do is this: you read the question, the material properly. Second thing, Yukta, you read the question very properly, translate into the understandable language that you have. If you understand Hindi, translate it in Hindi. If you understand Punjabi, translate it into Punjabi, and then try to recollect what the answer should be, and then look at the options. Because what happens is this, that before even you look the question, you start looking the options and then you get confused. Am I saying correct or not? That is a basic problem of every student. You don't even read the question, you look at the options and you start getting confused. But why are you looking at the options? First, you read the question and understand what he wants to ask. Whatever he wants to ask, you try to get the answer on your head already and then look at the options so that you are 100% sure that, okay, this is the answer. Also, please use the approach out of negation. Many times, you know, many times what happens is this, that you already know that, okay, these two answers are for sure not going to happen. So A and B option is gone. Rest are C and D. Then use your analytical skill for judging between C and D. Correct? Any other doubt, people? Okay. So we'll see in the next class. Up till then, if there's any other doubt, feel free to post it. Ola is not a monopoly, Jardosh. How will Ola be a monopoly? Uber is there. How can Ola be monopoly? There are other cab services local also. So it's not a monopoly. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Good day. Bye bye. So we can close the session.